this is actually the not the easiest way to do it, to introduce myself. So I'm Iza Sia Login. Uh, at I'm a co-founder of Login 5 Foundation, that which has a purpose: pure air, pure water, pure consciousness. And we do the projects that are connected to, let's say, saving the human race, not the earth, because earth will survive anyway, with human race on it or not. So it's on us to maintain the environment when we can live. But on the other side, when there is also pure consciousness, in my opinion, if the consciousness would be high enough, there would be actually no problems, no real challenges for human race. No hungry, no wars, no competition. Let's say, in my opinion, competition. Though they say in the current environmentally that competition is healthy, in my opinion, it's not healthy. We can always co-create together. So I'm the co-founder of the Login 5 Foundation. I'm also a CEO of Rimina company that runs Rimina Academy, conscious leadership academy for leaders that would like to change the world or would like to be the role models for their people, to be, let's say, the real human, be a human value, you know. Then on our foundations, we also run a few other projects. One of them is an agricultural project when we would like to establish proven practices for sustainable farming for on a big scale. Because today the majority of organic farmers are so-called small farmers or mid-sized farmers, because there are no models, no technology to do it on a larger scale. And there I'm responsible for the culture. And of course, as you say, for manifestation, because manifestation is my topic. Actually, the one that I really stand behind. And of course, connected to these agricultural projects, it's also food development projects. When on one side we have a laboratory, high sophisticated tech laboratory for brain research, because we would like to understand why do people like to eat what we eat, and then to develop the food that would bring the highest pleasures, so that we don't need to change the habits, because people will have to change the habits, eating habits, but that there will be food that will be simply the best and better than, let's say, unsustainable food that we mainly eat today. I'm also mother of two grown-up boys, so already men. I'm also already a grandmother.
Congratulations.
What else can I say? I have also so many hobbies and so many things that interests me that I don't have enough time. So I have to manifest time as well, more time to be more efficient, that I can have time also for singing, for painting, for sports activities. I like reading. So many things.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for this beautiful introduction. So you seem to be a very, very, very busy woman. Your feet are all over the place, like you are just literally juggling a gazillion of balls at the same time. So how do you actually manage to manage all of these things? Not only business related, not only foundation related, not only family related, but also giving yourself the time to enjoy life, and like you said, to do some activity for yourself, be it painting, be it singing, be it exercising, yoga, meditation, whatever it is. So how do you juggle all of that?
it is a challenge many times, but I understand that if I want to be effective on my, let's say, business roles, I have to spend time also on activities that actually empower me, that give me power, that I can then really work. But on the other side, I at least my motto is that I only do what I really enjoy to do. So also, let's say when I work, that I can work in joy. It's again a challenge sometimes, because sometimes there are things that have to be done, and I have to do them. But I know it's just a bit of my time, and then I can enjoy again.
Right. This is a massive synchronicity because right before I jumped on a call with you, I made a video exactly about that we need to bring joy into everything we do, and we need to do what we want and what brings joy to us. So, is that the philosophy that you live with every day?
Yes, and I stand behind that. This is the formula to be a successful, to be successful.
Powerful. And how is that, in your opinion, influence the manifestation and capacity and ability to actually manifest what it is that we desire?
Yeah, there are many factors, but let's start with the joy, to continue to do the previous question. Joy, the emotional state of joy is very high on the emotional scale, and let's say it's just above the love, and we are able to manifest successfully when we are higher from love. So love is the lowest emotional state when we can be very successful while manifesting. If we suffer, if we are angry, if we are dissatisfied, or let's say stressed, it's very hard to manifest, because we focus too much of our energy to that emotional state that's actually just draining our energy. So that's why it's so important to be in this high level state or emotional states. When the manifestation is then instant, you just think and it's there. You don't need to write it down, to meditate, to search for the limiting beliefs, because you can feel it and you are there. And then the passion is so important when manifesting. It's not that much of course, I always say that precisely defined conceivable goal, this is the first step. But if you have passion, this is like the fuel to the rocket. You're already there. And then, yeah, as I said, so let's say joy, passion. Now we start from the behind, and of course, then limiting beliefs that we have. So if my limiting belief is that I'm not successful, I can't be successful, though I can put it down like 100 times and manifest it. But successful is not the right objective. Let's say my business objective can be I run 3 workshops this month. But if I have a subconscious limiting belief that I'm not successful and that I'm not good at, let's say, presenting and teaching, no one will apply to my workshop. These are actually the most challenging issues while manifesting, because they're hidden in my subconscious. Into my subconscious, I usually don't have a direct access to. And then let's say the first step I already mentioned, like clearly, measurably defined, conceivable objectives. And it's so easy. Okay, there is a technique. We put it down in a present tense. Then we go to the manifestation. We check our feelings. We check if there are any blockages to that manifestation. But these are just small things when we do it like then, like more let's say, with the higher probability to be manifested, grounded. But let's say if we know what, we have passion and we are in joy, it's there. Usually you just think and it's here.
Right. So what you mentioned really hit the chord for me, that limiting beliefs are oftentimes there, but at the same time, if we focus on joy and peace of mind and just really elevating our state of being, and we live in that state of being more than not, then limiting beliefs, they kind of dissolve on their own.
Yes.
And I feel like in the personal development industry overall, and people who work on themselves, there's some kind of a perpetuation of healing, and there's this some kind of broken loop where people keep on reading self-help books, watching YouTube videos, constantly working on themselves, working with therapists or coaches, and it's a never-ending story. And the way I see it is that if we will look into what's wrong with us, if we are going to look into what limiting beliefs we have, we will never run out of it. We will never be able to actually not find something to work on. And that's why once we elevate ourselves and start focusing our attention more to something positive, to what we can do, to how great we are in certain areas of life, in certain skills and talents and so on, then automatically there's also more of the goodness happening, right? So how do you see that when it comes to really continuously working on yourself and on and on and on and on, and kind of on a broken record?
I can say that I completely agree with you. But we have to be sincere to ourselves. So I can say, oh, I'm in joy, and I am in joy. I can pretend that I'm in joy. I can lie to myself, but my inner self will not believe it, because there might be a feeling of sadness, there might be a feeling of anger, there might be a feeling of being hurt. And if there is that feeling, this is the time when we should heal it. Because these beliefs, or let's say traumas, if we say this is my flux, and the energy can go through it, and to manifest I need energy. As wider my flux is, the sooner it will be here, grounded. But if there is a trauma, it's like a stone in my flux, and the energy then, this is then my real flux. So I always say, if you really feel joyful, you're in joy, in love, in compassion, create, manifest, enjoy the life. When you feel something, do the healing. You can still say, oh, I'm not, I will just do this. But then your flux might be just like this. And this is then the energy that you get. And usually you say it's never ending story. It's true. But it's not a never ending story that your flux is from this size, it's shrunken to this size. When you do the healing, it's a bit bigger, it's a bit bigger, it's a bit bigger. And you don't feel it all the time, because for your current manifestation, maybe this kind of flux is more than enough. That's why you can create in joy. But usually people then want to create more. And it doesn't mean just material stuff. It can be better relationships, better co-creation, I don't know, better, let's say when you meditate, you would like to be more connected, you would like to be more intuitive. And then these limiting beliefs pop out. And when they do, you can't be in joy, because it bothers you. This is the time for healing.
Exactly. I totally 100% agree with you, because the thing is that a lot of people also bypass the healing bit. So even though it's not a good idea to continuously look for healing, and probably that's exactly actually the distinction, where people are actively looking for what to heal rather than okay, something is coming up, something is showing up, and I don't know what it is. So I will investigate and I will look into it and I will love myself and I will accept what is going on. And then I will get out of it stronger, more aware, with more clarity. And that will help the manifestation to come along as well, right?
Yes, and actually, the effective healing is possible only when you feel it. When you just look, oh, I have to heal something and I don't know why, it usually doesn't work. It's not that effective. You can do something, but just a little bit. When you feel it, when it hurts, this is the right moment to do it. And you said it's never ending story, but the let's say the traumas or limiting beliefs are smaller and smaller all the time, you know. And also that your consciousness is higher and you can just observe yourself like, this is me and this is my consciousness looking at me. Oh, there's something wrong with you. What, you know, what's wrong? Oh, what is it? What is it? What, you know, working like personal growth is important, but not just personal growth, you know.
Right, exactly.
People should focus to creation, to be, because we are creative beings and we are so happy when we create something, when we see something that's our creation, and this is
Mm.
what we should focus to. And then when it's something there to, let's say, to clean, we do it like as fast as possible.
Right. So I'm very happy that you are mentioning that, how important it is to co-create, because I feel like a lot of people are somehow making it all about themselves, and like taking, and it's all about me, and I need to earn a living or to attract love or whatever it is that they desire. It's rather about them, and that's when those limiting beliefs and negative energies also somehow start growing. And what I have learned over the years of also working with clients and so on, what I realized is that the more people focus outside of themselves and the more they focus on serving people or contributing to a better world, the better they feel about themselves, and the more they believe in themselves, and the more they trust the process, and the more they enjoy the process as well. And that's when the manifestations actually occur. So when it comes to serving and contribution, as you are doing a huge, very important job, everything that you mentioned when it comes to sustainability and your conscious work and conscious leadership and all of these things, what would you suggest people who are somewhat concerned about themselves and perhaps don't believe that they can contribute to a better world or that they can serve other people in a valuable way?
I would say they should find their personal purpose or personal life mission. And it's never about, I don't know, let's say money or physical stuff or changing people or showing or teaching. It's just about the state they would like to live in, the world they would like to live in. And when you find your purpose, your personal purpose, and it's the same for organizations, it's like, you know, you usually get good goosebumps. You feel it so strongly, and it's an enormous source of passion, of creative energy. And when you feel it, and when you can start creating this way, then you come to what you just said, that more you do to others, more you serve, the better you feel, and actually you have everything you need. If it's about my personal needs and my belongings and what everything I need to have for myself, it's not, it can't be like an inspiring situation. Usually it's about inner pain that wants to have it, because maybe I think, oh, when I get this I'll be happy, but
Mm.
I won't be happy, you know. So that's why, but this purpose is so important. And some people know their personal purpose, but they don't they're not courageous enough to go and to start working there. Sometimes people say, yes, you can do whatever you want because you have everything, you have enough money and so on. But I always did like that. Also, when I finished high school and I didn't have anything, and I started having my family, and we didn't have even enough money to okay, it was a decent life, but still, we had a small car, and our wardrobes were sometime also like just boxes on the floor, paper boxes, because you can. But I only did what I really loved to do. But I was like, okay, let's jump, let's do it. But if there is a passion behind, you have to succeed. There is no other option. If there is real passion, it's not, if there is not a pain, oh, I have to do it, I need this, I have to struggle. No, no chance. But if it's yes, let's do it like this, you can do whatever you want. I read a story of a lady in Australia. She decided to start producing, tattoos for kids. Those tattoos that you can wash out then in a few days. And
Mhm.
she was so passionate about. She was like she became rich. She became so successful from tattoos. Yes, because it was her passion. Her passion was to make kids happy.
Amazing. What a beautiful story. So, two things seem to be the cornerstones of manifesting the amazing life that everyone desires, and that is purpose, like you said, and taking action. So, when it comes to purpose, what it reminded me was that we as adults somehow stopped dreaming big. We somehow pinched this childish playfulness that we have had in our childhood to create things, to play with clay, to do things, to go play with other kids, whatever was making us happy. And as adults, for some reason, we just pinched it off and we were like, oh, we need to be serious now, and we are not allowed to dream big, and it's not allowed, and it's not realistic, and all of these limiting beliefs about what is realistic, what is possible. And there's this beautiful quote: we believe something is impossible until it's done. And so that's exactly the thing. We need to continuously feed that purpose and feed that dream with action. And I think a lot of people think, but this is way too big of a dream, and it's too large of a gap. But no, actually, if you just take baby steps, if you
Yes,
just do something little every single day, incremental improvements, you will actually create the environment even to get that engine going, and you will see that faster than you imagined, you will start seeing results.
I totally agree. So the steps should be conceivable. If for me, like a huge step is conceivable, I can do it. Okay, I'll have to have enough energy to do it. But everyone can do it also in smaller steps, also me, if I decide so. And then to celebrate the achievement that I came there, because when I was thinking about it, this was something to me. This is the same, when people do yearly manifestations in December, and then we jump into a new year with the manifestation in the pocket. And usually these manifestations are so like far stretched. So if I do it in the next year, I'm the one. And then it's June, and you read your manifestation, and you see that almost everything is already achieved. And then it's, oh my God, what now? Okay, manifest again until for the second half of the year. But actually, first celebrate, because you did it in the half of the time. The celebration is too many times forgotten, too often forgotten. We don't celebrate our wins, our achievements, because, oh, I just did it. It was easy. Of course, it was easy. If I was in the right mood, if I did it with the right energy, with the right passion, it was easy. But celebrate.
Yeah, and this perfectly relates back to what you said also, how a lot of people could say, oh, but you have achieved everything and now you have everything. But then you shared your story that actually it wasn't always the case, and you had your own fair share of difficulties in life in your early stage, right? And you had boxes filled with stuff, and a cheap little car, and kids to take care of, and all of these things. So that's the thing that we also forget so easily, to be grateful for what we have achieved, and every day to be looking at our environment and being like, oh my god, if I would have imagined that I would live this way today, I couldn't believe it. Like years ago, I couldn't believe it. But the thing is that we just always chase something in the future. It's kind of chasing these rabbits, and it's again a never-ending story. If you will continue
Yes.
chasing something, you will never be happy, and you will never feel grateful, and you will never feel fulfilled, and you will never really feel like even your relationships are satisfying to you, or your business is thriving enough, or that you have enough goodness in your life and your well-being. And coming to manifestation, that's kind of blocking the goodness too. So manifestations don't really come from this need, from the neediness, from lack, from scarcity, but it comes from abundance. And when you feel prosperous, when you feel good in yourself, when you're grateful for what you have created and who you are.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, I agree. One little trick that can help, or let's say a small tool that can help, is to build oasis of joy. Because you said before, we just work hard and have to work and don't have time to be like with our inner child. So to build oasis of joy, let's say 3 to 4 times a day for 10 to 15 minutes. Just stop and say, now it's my 10 minutes to do something that I really like and puts me in joy. And let's say I sing, or I go out into my fairy garden I have around the house, and this puts me also in this state of gratefulness, you know, because I can do it. Then I'm back to work. I can work hard. I can again have like really, mind blowing issues to solve. But 10 minutes ago, I was like a kid.
I love that. This is such a great advice. And that's actually exactly what I did while I was cooking lunch for myself today. I was literally putting on some music and dancing all over the kitchen. And that was exactly what pumped me up with positive energy and just wanting to create something new, to take some action, to reach out to someone, to just really enjoy the life. And that's really a brilliant example of how easy it is to switch. And it also reminds me of this statement that people use: work hard, play hard. And I think a lot of people misunderstand that, because they think that, okay, you have to really suffer when you work, and then when you play hard, that means getting drunk and just, I don't know, watching TV or just whatever, these kind of things. I'm like, no, it actually means enjoying life, enjoying what it is that you do, pouring your energy into your work because it's purposeful, because it's serving, because you love doing it, because you're passionate, like you said. And whenever you're off time, like you are not working, then you're also doing your best to rejuvenate, to love yourself, to do something good for yourself and for your loved ones, and just really play hard.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So when it comes to your own journey, let's go back a little bit to talk about your own journey. So um as an incredibly successful tech leader, philanthropist, happy wife, a mother of two, as well as, I'm sure there's a lot that we don't know about you, but you already mentioned some amazing things, and like singing and painting and all of these things. What does success mean to you when it comes to really just, you already mentioned a little bit snippets here and there, that it's not really a financial success to aim for, but what is it that people should focus on first and foremost?
I would say that, let's say, when you set yourself a goal that you would like to achieve, and when you do achieve it, it's a success. And we are not the same, especially, let's say, in business, because usually we say, oh, you're a successful businessman. I would say it would be better to assess like holistically, a successful person. So also the personal life would need to come in. But let's say in business, it's easier to define the goals. So if you define yourself a goal and you achieve it, you are successful. Even though if it's a small step, like we discussed before, it's not just about the millions and billions we achieved. People say, "Oh, you are a successful businesswoman." I said, "My sister is also a successful businesswoman. She's a very successful teacher. She will never earn as much as, let's say, I did, but she's very successful because she gets the most problematic kids in her class every year because she's so successful, and she always managed that they somehow cope with the content they shoot in that school year. And let's say there is a doctor, a physician that's very successful. It's not about the money. It's about the goals. It's about the knowledge. It's about the expertise. And I think it's about again the media. How they somehow set certain standards. But from my point of view, it's not ethical, because then too many people feels too bad about themselves.
Right. So if we had to redefine success from what most of the society understands as success, it seems like it boils down to, again, kind of reaching your purpose and setting that purpose in front of your eyes, and baby steps, actually reaching baby goals over and over and over again, and along the way becoming a better version of yourself, and that is already success.
Yes, I agree. I would just like to add that, let's say, this personal purpose we discussed before, usually it's not like set and this is it. Usually it develops like a flower. The closer you are, the bigger you see it, and the better you feel it. So it's not like that, oh, this is my purpose and I achieved it. It's not there. When you're closer, you see it's more, and it's then the life purpose. Actually, it never ends. It's,
Yeah,
it's not that you
exactly.
achieved it and now I'm done. I can go to the beach and enjoy my life.
Right, right. So, as your company that you founded together with your husband Samo, which was sold for $1 billion without any investors backing you up, this might seem like a crazy achievement to a lot of people, and like the ultimate success that some people would say, "Oh, I want something like that, but I can never reach that." Um, to kind of analyze that journey that you have been through, how has this experience shaped you as a person, and how, if at all, it changed your life?
Um, my friends and people that know me good, they say I actually haven't changed at all. So I'm the same because it was our goal. We just achieved it. We also proved that manifestation works. I had some other smaller projects before that I call them like a school proofs, like the lessons that were like proving that it really works if you do it the right way. Um, okay, we moved to Cyprus from Slovenia, so it's like 4 hours of flying. This was a huge change, but I'm so happy here because I live close to the sea. I live close to the Aphrodite's rock and so on. So
Wow.
this was a change, let's say for better, though I really love Slovenia a lot. It's still my homeland, I was born there. So from this side, I wouldn't say I changed a lot. Of course, I learned a lot. I got like huge experience how to build a team, how to build a business, because it was actually the first time we built such huge business. Um, my feeling that I'm not just like a citizen of one country, but that I'm a citizen of the world, confirmed this feeling. So for me, the borders were never the obstacle or the challenge, that I can only work in a certain area, but it's the whole world. So this was from my personal. Then the second one you said, how the second part of the question.
How did it change your life? So you kind of covered it as well. So how did it change your life, and how did it change you as a person?
Yeah,
So
yeah, I changed, but not drastically because of the money, because money itself is just paper, a banknote, or a number on a bank account, and tomorrow it can be gone, and I
right.
cannot change back to the old Isa. So I'm here, and it's not about now like having a really good life. Okay, I can afford whatever I want, but I don't buy anything. I buy things that really mean a lot to me. Um, and I still work hard, if I can say hard. Yeah, but we discussed in the beginning like 10, 12 hours a day on the philanthropic projects that actually don't bring money, but I still enjoy, and I think all the time about the impact we need to do and I would like to do.
Right. And it seems like there's this misconception around, oh, when I will have a certain amount of money, then I will not be afraid anymore. When I will have a certain amount of money, I will feel safe. It never really happens, does it?
No, no, it's the inner feeling, and it's not about the money. It's the inner feeling, and again, about subconscious limiting subconscious beliefs. It's about the traumas from the childhood, and maybe it's just easy because you don't need to think, oh, am I gonna have enough money tomorrow to buy a breakfast? This is the actually the only change. A friend asked me once, so what's the feeling when you can go to the shop and buy everything? And I said, so okay, imagine that she wanted to have a Prada purse. And I said, okay, you have the money and you can go to the shop. How do you feel? She said, and that's it. And I said, yes, that's it for me. If there, if people have limiting beliefs that they are not accepted or that they are not loved, they can somehow try to cover this um, um, pain, that, oh, now I have the money and I'm like so important, but on the inside, some people that have maybe $100 can feel better.
Absolutely, absolutely. And also, I want to return back to what you said about you proved it that manifestation works. Building $1 billion company within just 7 years proved that manifestation works because you were applying all these principles that you knew as a master manifester. And that reminded me of a book that I was reading quite recently of Michael Singer, The Surrender Experiment. And Michael Singer, also back in the 90s, I believe, he also, just because he was surrendering to the force of life, to the signs that were kind of coming his way, and he didn't resist whatever was presented to him. That's how he also built $1 billion business in tech as well. So that was kind of like a funny parallel, because he was literally surrendering to whatever was happening externally, and then internally he was releasing all the resistance, and he was like, well, okay, if this is what I'm called to do, I'm going to do it. So coming to your journey, does that resonate in any way? Did you also go with this kind of going with the flow and surrendering to the flow of life? How did you approach that?
Yeah, I can agree. Actually, all techniques of manifestation we can find, uh, and they also say, "Oh, this one really works." They actually are all the same, because let's say when let's say or when someone gets the feeling, how is it to manifest? Because it's about the feeling. It's not that about that much the technique, and you want to articulate it. It's a just one way of articulation, and the other person do it articulates it differently and differently, and but this is always the same technique, you know. It's just different articulation, maybe different perception or different approach he took, but bottom line it's the same. Yes, you have to surrender, and let's say if there is a fail, you have to take it as a lesson, because somewhere along the way you will need this lesson. And if you take it like this, it's first easier to cope in that painful moment of failure, and then to be grateful when you see that without that lesson, this failure would be like a failure with a uh, big F. You know?
Exactly, exactly. So throughout your own journey, I'm sure there were bumps as well. There were failures, there were situations when you were like, "Oh my goodness, what do I do with this?" As well as probably you also had some fears and doubts and insecurities and some kind of, internal stuff coming up that you needed to deal with. So how did you personally deal with those setbacks and beliefs that were coming up and feelings of doubt and feelings of fear or anything like that?
I can't say that I was afraid, that I felt fear, and this is quite common for business people, especially successful business people. This is like we just hide it. There's no fear, you know, and it might be, but we don't feel it. And I didn't feel it back then. And when one of my colleagues asked me, so there should be something. What are you really afraid of? And I said, if I'm honest, that there is no air I can breathe, there is no water I can drink, and that I'm not aware of myself, you know. And this was then the base for our foundation purpose. Uh, but actually, after that, when I had time and I did recapitulation, I saw that there were actually fears, but I just didn't want to face them back then. And in that moment, this was good, you know. But of course, you know, if you remember, I discussed before the flux you have to manifest, and our manifestation was huge. So the flux had to be really huge, really wide. There, of course, there were those stones, and if I remember, there was one that I was angry if I lost control over some situations, you know, in the projects, or there were some challenges and I was not prepared for them and so on. And I was thinking, I didn't do it, but I was thinking to put on the cap, you know, the golf cap, and to just put the stone to hang in front of my nose to remind me, you don't need to be angry, don't be angry. But the thing that really solved me back then was the theory I developed about limiting beliefs, that we only have 2 to 3 core limiting beliefs. And I was aware of all of them. So I knew that if I was angry, it was about my control, because I didn't have the control. And deep down, it's connected with the feeling of being safe. And whenever I was angry, I was able to feel this feeling and to release it just in a few seconds, you know, to feel it, to release it, and to replace it with the feeling of being safe. It helped me a lot. because I didn't have time to go to different healings and therapeutes and so on, because I just worked, all the time. But this theory I developed before we found it out with Seven really helped me a lot during during these hard situations, because I knew they didn't help me. They didn't
That's
help me.
powerful. That's powerful. Now I'm curious, what are the other two?
Then the one is to be cramped, so feeling of not being safe and to fly. And this is interesting because it's about this again, the inner feeling. But let's say whenever I had to pack my suitcases, and I had to do it like sometimes every week back then, also now, but now it's a bit better. I really suffered. Though I did it then in 20 minutes because I did it so often and I knew what to put and to fly, I always suffered. And because of this feeling, again, this is inner feeling. It was not a big deal to just to put my some clothes and personal stuff into the suitcase, but the inner feeling, because it was like a situation. Now you have to do it in like in one or two suitcases. And it was funny when we were rebuilding the house, and the new kitchen was much bigger than the old one. But I had night traumas, night dreams, when I was dreaming that there is just not enough space to put all my like kitchen stuff into a new kitchen. Now it's getting better. Now, but let's say, and then one friend was with me here, and she said, "What's wrong with you today?" And I said, "I'm fine." No, 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 you're different. I haven't seen you like this ever before. I have to pack today. So I feel it. I don't feel good. I'll do it. I know I'll do it. I'll manage it, but I just don't feel good. So that's everything's okay. Don't worry. And she said, "Oh my God." you know. And then the third one is humiliation.
Mm.
For me, it's never about, oh, he doesn't love me, she doesn't love me, oh, she doesn't accept me. It's always how he could humiliate me so hard. You know,
Mm.
so
Thanks for
hard. And it's again, when I hear myself, I say, oh, it's again here. It's not about him, it's not about her, it's about me. And because these are core limiting beliefs, usually it's not possible to clean them like 100%. Then we did some research with my friends, and let's say people that work on themselves, let's say in the age of 40, 50, and they are aware of their personal growth, they can do it, let's say, in around 60 to 80%. People that don't do anything, they just live, and the life, you know, gives them lessons, they do it around 20%. So they actually, for those 40 to 60, their suffer is bigger. They suffer more. Because when we heal it, we suffer less and we have more energy to create.
Right. And like you said, actually, all of the creation externally starts within. So if we manifest something, or we notice something externally, some kind of a conflict, or something is not working out when it comes to career or business or whatever it is, then we always have to go inward first and foremost to investigate what's going on inside. Like, am I not validating myself? Am I not approving myself? Am I not loving myself enough? If I don't get to let's say maintain a healthy relationship with a partner, then perhaps I don't have a healthy relationship with myself first. So it's always a reflection of our internal well-being, projected into our external environment. I'm curious also, you said that you didn't have fear as an entrepreneur. So I'm really curious if that has always been who you were, this entrepreneurial, fearless, with this very spot on mindset type of person, or did you develop that mindset over time?
For sure, I developed a lot, but still I had that leadership or entrepreneur, how to say, gift that I got since I was a kid. I organized events when I was in a grammar school and so on. So for me, this was like very natural. And when I checked my astrology chart with my astrologer, she said I was a very successful businessman in my past life, and that's why for me this was so easy. Uh, and there are for sure other things when I have to put a bit more effort to be successful. Like let's say this manifestation.
Mm. Awesome, awesome.
First,
So my last question that I would like to ask you is about relationships, because you work with your high school sweetheart and you live with your high school sweetheart, and you know it's a beautiful and a very close relationship that you have, and that is not very easy to navigate to some people at least. So you know, when it comes to living life through this lens of manifesting amazing things and feeling good and really balancing things out and being at the higher state of being and so on, what I personally have realized that sometimes when we have that purpose in mind and we have goals that we have set for ourselves when it comes to, let's say, either business or career, then we think, oh, but I am not ready for a relationship because it's going to distract me, or it's not safe to be in a relationship because it might kind of interrupt my path and it might kind of take me off my path and disrupt everything that I'm doing right now. And I can't afford that. So now you as being in a beautiful relationship with your husband and being able to kind of make it all work as a family, as an individuals also on your own, how do you make it work? How do you navigate through all of these amazing things that you're doing on a daily basis? Yeah, how do you make your relationship work?
yeah, I have to disappoint you because I got divorced. Yeah, yeah, unfortunately. But still, we are friends and we still work together on all projects. Let's say tonight we had a discussion until 2 a.m. discussing how to solve certain issues on the projects, in a team, and so on. But let's say last year we decided that on a personal level, we are not together anymore. It was not an easy decision, uh, but it was my really very important wish to stay and work together because the purpose we have was and still is so noble. And that's actually really the most important thing in my life. But on the other side, I can answer the question again. For us, there was never an issue working together because people always say, oh, I can't work with my partner, I can't spend the whole day with him, first in the job and then after job at home. For us it always worked much better than when we didn't work together, because 10 years in between we didn't work together, and we were much more successful when we worked together. That's why we decided to still work together, because um, um, we're so compatible in values and in let's say expertises we share, that it's a winning formula, you know.
Right. So even though it was a difficult decision,
Yeah,
it was for the better for both of you. And I think this is also something that so many people get into this stuckness of being with someone just because it's been so long, or just because it's convenient, or just because. And oftentimes that comes down to because they're afraid that they will not meet the right person after they step away from that relationship that didn't really fulfill the needs that they internally had, or maybe they didn't even identify what those needs were, and they were like, why am I not so happy and fulfilled in this relationship? I don't even know. People don't even question that, like, why don't I feel good in my relationship? And then they get stuck, and then they just perpetuate and live this life out of fear, not wanting a change, not liking a change.
And they shrinken their flux, and it affects the everything in their life.
Exactly, exactly. And that also reminds me of Abraham Hicks video that I just saw recently, exactly about that, that oftentimes we think that, oh, there will be this specific person that we want, or specific person that is coming our way. But really, if we focus on just feeling good and prioritizing our stability, emotional stability, a peace of mind, and focusing on what brings us joy and doing everything we can to enjoy life, then it doesn't matter if the person will show up, and whoever will show up will be awesome. And that's something that people are so clinging onto, like, I want that, or I want that specifically. No, just be free, just enjoy whatever it is that you're facing in that moment.
Yeah, if you are in that emotional state, there will be actually many of them coming, and let's say manifesting the exact persons, it's not ethical.
Mm. Exactly, exactly. So, thank you so much for this incredible conversation. So many amazing nuggets that you have shared with us today. How can people, listeners of the Redefining Success podcast, can find you? What would you like to share with them? And any final notes from your side?
Yeah, they can always visit our website, remina.com, reemina.com. This is the official website of Remina Academy. We are just launching a new website, so end of May we'll share majority of our knowledge online for free for everyone. There is also a website, login5.org, our foundation website, and links to all other projects. I would like to share with them one, let's say, it's not even affirmation, it's a sentence or a true sentence I got in my one of my meditations, that only the love is light, and if there is no light, it's darkness.
Mm, thank you so much. That's so beautiful. That is so beautiful. Thank you so much for your energy, for your time, for your presence, for all of your insights, and all the best with all of your amazing projects and in life overall. Speak to you very soon.
Yeah, thank you very much for your invitation, and I wish you the same, and all the listeners the same. Thanks a
Exactly.
lot.